Hello everyone. Okay, so I just got back home from riding the motorcycle. It's the 2016 Zero SR. It's an electric motorcycle with a 13 kilowatt hour battery. It's extremely fast, and it's also quite easy to ride. What I mean is there's no shifting gears, there's no clutch to use. It's just when you want to go, you turn the throttle and it goes. It's one gear. It's I don't know how to say it. It's just one gear. It's direct. I think we call it direct drive, right? Or is that direct drive? Motor there, belt, turns the wheel. I'm not sure all the technical proper words for that, but there's no transmission, there's no gears to shift, there's no clutch. And I keep thinking how nice it would be if someone's just learning how to ride and they're having trouble getting past the what's called the friction zone of the clutch, getting past that point of that learning curve, if I call it that. But with an electric motorcycle, that doesn't exist. So I'm still interested in the petrol powered motorcycles for the purpose of the for long distance. But right now I'm using the electric motorcycle. This has about 125-mile range, and that's just riding it normal riding, not going slow, not racing. Although I am interested in taking this on the track someday and trying it out, practicing on the track. But meanwhile, I'm exploring different ways of how I can charge the motorcycle. It comes with a built-in charger underneath the motorcycle. There's an onboard charger which charges at like 1.3 kilowatts or 1300 watts, 1300 watt hours, which means it will put 1300 watts per hour, and you can divide that number into 13,000 to figure out how many hours it would take to charge, right? Approximately. Now I have a Roger charger here, and the Roger charger, the latest version of this, is I think it's a 4,000 watt charger. And what I really like about this is you can control the volts and the amps here. This is the amp setting, and then on this side is the display for telling us how much power we're putting in. So I was talking with Robert at Robert's Computer Hospital, and I had told him that I connected one of these plugs. Let's see if I could read this right now, what this says on it. XT60. This can handle 60 amps continuous. I know there's an XT90 as well. I think there's a larger plug, which would probably be 90 amps continuous, or double that number for a short period of time, right? But we're interested in the continuous number. And I was telling Robert that underneath the seat is the controller, the motor controller, and it had two really big wires going to it. I mean, they look like the size of my thumb, like really big, right? Those wires, I was asking Robert if he thought that I might be able to connect the Roger charger to that when the key's turned on, or when the onboard charger is plugged in, which activates. If I recall correctly, when that onboard charger is charging, even if the key's off, that opens that circuit in the back for the quick charger to plug in. There's a plug in the back. So there's a plug on the side here, which is the onboard charger. There's a plug in the back, which has like a boot covering it back here. I don't know what that plug's called. I don't know the part number. I've tried to find out. I haven't been able to get that information. Not yet, at least. I'm still working on it. I know I can buy like a Y connector that would connect to two other quick chargers, but I'm more interested in using the Roger charger for two important reasons that are, to me, significant, which is much lower cost and much more power. The quick chargers that are made for this motorcycle, and I'm not telling you not to get those. If you want to get those, go for it. I understand that if you have the money to buy those. I understand wanting to use the parts that are made for this motorcycle. That makes complete sense to me. But myself, this is, I have to be careful with my budget, and this fits with my budget. This charger was about $300 or $400. I don't remember the exact number, and it's 4,000 watts. Now, if I buy the quick chargers, I think last I checked, they were around Now I could be wrong with these numbers, but I think they were around, let me think. I don't remember if they were 1,000 watts each and $600 or $700. That might be the numbers. If there were $600 or $700 each and 1,000 watts each, and then if we ran 4 of those, but double check that for yourself, because it might have been $1,000 for 600 or 700 watts, but it makes more sense that the quick chargers were 1,000 watts each for $600 or $700 each. I think that's the correct numbers. And then you could run 4 of those, and I think it's called daisy chaining them or running them in parallel, where they're all connected, and that would be putting 4,000 watts in that the back plug in the back there. Now Robert was telling me, because I have an extra wiring harness for this motorcycle, Robert was telling me that if you have another wiring harness for this, we can take that plug to people that he knows that manufacture plugs and make plugs, and they make a lot of things for electronics. And he said we could try to have someone make a plug that will go into that, make something that will plug into there, so that I'll be able to connect my Roger charger to that back plug and be able to put 4,000 watts in there, because it's made for accepting 4,000 watts in the back plug. And if I understand correctly, I can put 4,000 watts in the back and still have this 1,300 watt onboard charger charging at the same time. But I'll have to confirm that through experience. You can also look that up online and see what other people's experiences were with doing that. I did read through all this before in the past, but I don't recall what the conclusion was. So, but either way, even if I'm just charging with 4,000 watts, that's still a lot faster than charging at 1,300 watts with the onboard charger. So I'm definitely interested in using the Roger charger. So right now, I'm going to do a test with maybe either having the key turned on, which is on now. If I plug in the onboard charger on the side, which is this plug here, recognize that? I don't know what that's called, but that's what computer power supplies commonly use right there. But this is a much thicker wire. See this? It looks like it's a 10 gauge. Just looking at it, it looks like approximately 10 gauge. That, I don't know if that's the gauge, but it looks like that to me. But so either plugging that onboard charger in, which will make the 2 thick wires going to the controller hot. It'll make those hot, and I have a plug that looks like this wired to those connectors on the motor controller, and going down to the side over here, which I have it covered up with tape so dirt won't go in there. So I want to try connecting the Roger charger to that. I was trying to figure out how I can connect that charger without it sparking, because when I plug it in, there's going to be 115 volts on that wire, and when I plug the Roger charger in, there's 0 volts here, so it makes a spark on the plug, and it's not good for the plug to do that. I don't like causing that spark. It can actually damage the plug over time. I need to look at, Cameron had mentioned that there's a solution for that, and I need to look into that and find out what it is, because I'm interested in not damaging my plugs. Let me think. So if I plug the charger in before turning the key on or before connecting the onboard charger, if I plug this charger in first, the motorcycle will not allow the onboard charger to turn on. It just doesn't allow it. It shows an error code. It's like it knows that I've plugged something in. So I have to already, the circuit has to be open. I'm calling it open, but it has to already be turned on, the key, or the onboard charger has to already be charging before I hook up this charger. So I'm going to do a test today again to see if I can get this going. The 2 tests I'm thinking of, well, at least one test, let's see. One test would be connecting it to the plug and seeing if it allows me to charge the motorcycle with the key off and the onboard charger on. And the other test can be the onboard charger not charging and just having the key turned on, and then connecting the Roger charger to that I'm going to call it to the motor controller, because the wires that are connected to that. This is just an experiment. It's just me experimenting with different ways of approaching how can I charge that battery with the most power with what I have. Okay, because I know that there's I think there's an onboard charger, and someone was saying they go for around $3,000, and it goes in this spot right here. And that's for a level 2 charging station, which would charge this very, very fast. So that is interesting to me, but then I would lose this storage, which I keep a lot of things in here. And I like that storage space. I don't really want to lose that. And at this time, I really don't want to add extra luggage racks on the side. You know, I don't really want to do that right now. So I like having that storage area here. I do know that this space here, if the tank is taken off, all of this space behind here, between this and this, is completely empty. So to me, I'm just thinking, wow, this could literally go inside there, and this could be a large storage area. And that may be something I have to have, like I don't know if it'd be a tailor or someone that does work with sewing that could do something like that, and then just modify this tank where the storage can go down and use this area. There's so much area there. I tend to, sometimes I wear a backpack and I'll put a lot of things in there, but there is so much room. I mean, there's easily room for this Roger charger, it seems, just looking at this, to possibly fit like just in this area here, between here and here, possibly. Because as you can see, this is not very big. This is a very small charger. Let's go ahead and measure this just while we're here. So this is 1.5 inches approximately. Is that what that is? Yeah, 1.5 inches deep, if I say it that way. I don't know what to call that. It's 11.25 inches long. Well, let's add the plugs there. So, no, the plugs. The plug and the. If we add everything, it's 11.75 inch. If we add the knobs for the volts and amps and all this plug, so 11.75 of an inch. And then if we look this way, I'll call this width. And if we look at the charger itself, it's 4 inches. So it's just under 4.25 inches. But if we look at these bumpers here, which are meant to help protect the charger, then we're looking at closer to just under 4.5 inches. But you can see that is not taking a lot of space up. And if we look at this space here, we can see that there's about 3.5 inches. If we get down to this area, there's about 3.5 inches there. If we go this way, there's lots of room. See this? I mean, we're past the 11 inches easily and lengthwise. So that charger could possibly fit in here. And I can put 2 of these. I could have one here and one over here. And that would give me 8,000 watts going into the motorcycle and charging it quite fast. Now that may not be needed. I may not need that kind of fast charging, but to me, it's always better to have extra just in case it's needed, right? A lot of people that ride electric unicycles will say, yeah, I don't always fast charge, but when I need a fast charge, if I'm on a group ride and people want that real quick charge because they want to get going with their ride, the whole purpose of being out that day is to ride as a group. People don't want to be waiting hours for their battery charge, and they're not going to. So ordinarily at home, they might slow charge the battery overnight, but when they're out riding in a group, they're going to charge that battery as fast as the battery can accept. And that's usually at what the battery is rated at, right? So, you know, it could be on the internet at one time, I don't know if it's still this way, there was just like this overwhelming number of people, or I'll just say overwhelming things written stating that, oh, fast charging, don't fast charge, don't fast charge. Well, but when you actually talk to people that actually are doing the fast charging, I'm seeing that people are not having trouble because they're staying within specification. So people are doing this within specification, and meaning not exceeding what the maximum charge parameters that are set for the manufacturer. So as long as we stay within that, we're doing well, right? And that's what I'm doing. I'm planning to stay within the power limits of what is recommended for this motorcycle, which I still need to find out those numbers, but I just know that 4,000 watts can go in the back, and I think simultaneously can be charging the 1,300 watts. And I don't know if on top of that we can also be adding the level 2 charging in addition to those two. I don't know. I do know there was someone with an electric Zero that was I think they had added their own chargers to the Zero, and they were putting so much power into it, a lot of power, which was really nice. It was a really nice system, a really nice modification. I don't know if I made a playlist of that, but I may have, or if I haven't, I'll have to work on that. So for those of you that have been following this motorcycle on this channel, this was recently painted black because it was green before. And that's just the tank that I bought. This is the one that came with the motorcycle, and I don't know what's on it. Here, it looks like something had spilled on it. But this part was cracked right here, it was broken off. And this was the SR. Now this one says DS, but I don't know if that's the only difference on this. If it just, the letters are different, the rest of the styling is the same, I don't know. That's just because the parts motorcycle that I bought, which there's the frame over there, that was a DS. And I used some of the parts from that motorcycle to get this one going, because a lot of the parts were similar or seeming to be identical. Okay everyone, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.